Yeah. All right. Good evening, everyone. You're welcome to class today. All right. It's my pleasure that you guys are here. I want to look at some questions under variation and also logical reasoning. So before we commence, I want you to get yourself ready for the class. Get your writing materials and don't forget to invite your mates. You can send the link to them. Let them know the class has started. Okay, and don't forget, as you are joining the class, if you are new on this platform, ensure you subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to tap your like button. Okay, so let's wait for those people that are here to join. So if we have a good number, we can comment. All right. Okay, so you are all welcome. Okay, I think I can see Opeyemi, I can see progress. Yes, David, I see David, you're welcome to class, David. Okay, yes, Toyosi, you're welcome to class. All right, Mujisola, you're welcome to class. As you're joining the class, make sure you tap your like button. Okay, so Makinde Mahmood, yes, I can see you, you're welcome to class. All right, Odeson, yeah, you're welcome to class. All right, so don't forget to invite your friends. Okay, so anytime from now, we'll commence the class. Okay, I can see Fayomi, Ezekiah, you're welcome to class. Okay, that's good. All right. Okay, so I think we can continue. Now let's look at this question. This question is under partial variation. Let's see, how do we solve this type of problem? A quantity P varies partly as X and partly as the inverse of Y. When X is 4, Y is 2, and P is 10. And when X is 6, Y is 3, P is 11. Now find the law of variation. B, the percentage increase in P when X increases. When X increases from 4 to 8 and Y remains 2, okay? And Y remains 2. All right, so how do we solve this? The first thing now is to change this English that we have here into mathematics. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, a quantity P varies partly as X. That means it's equals to X. And then, you know, whenever you are writing a variable, you must introduce a constant. Let's say that constant is A. Okay, and partly as the inverse of Y. Inverse of Y is reciprocal of Y. That's 1 over Y. So we can just write the constant B over Y. Okay, so where A and B are constants. They are constants. Okay, you get that now? Okay, so don't forget Y is inverse, so it has to come down. All right, so the next thing now is to plug in the values given in the question. We are given P to be 10, X to be 6, Y to be 3, and the P 11. Okay, so now let's plug in the first set. Now this is the first set. We have this, and this. Now let's plug in the value. So P is what? 10. So we have 10 equals to, now X is what? X is 4. We have 4 times A. We don't know A, plus B over, what is Y? Y is 2. Okay, now let's tidy this one up. Can multiply through by 2. Okay, so when you multiply through by 2, you clear this fraction. So we have 20, 4A times 2, that gives you 8A plus B. Okay, because when you multiply this one by 2, 2 will cancel 2 here. So you have this. So you can call this one equation 1. All right, I want to believe you all get that. Okay, so now let us plug in the next set of variables. Okay, now p is what? 11. So we have 11 equals to, now x is 6. We have 6a. Okay, so plus, what is y? Y is 3. So we have b over 3. All right, now we need to clear the fraction. So what are we going to multiply the equation with? So we'll multiply it by 3, okay, so that this fraction, the denominator here, will leave. So multiply this by 3, this by 3, and this by 3, okay? So 11 times 3, that's 33, equals to 6a times 3, that is 18a, plus, now when you multiply this by 3, okay, 3 cancel 3, so you have p. So you call this one equation 2. All right, now, so we now have two equations that we need to solve simultaneously. So we subtract one from the other. Now let's subtract equation 1 from equation 2. So we have it this way: 33 minus 20, 18a minus 8a, and b minus p. Can we do that? Good. All right, so what is 33 minus 20? So you have 13, okay, equals to, so now 18a minus 8a, that gives you 10a, and b minus b, that is 0. Okay, so what's the next thing to do? Now I'm looking for a, the first constant, so I'll divide both sides by the coefficient of a, so, and that is 10. So we have 13 over 10 equals to a, or you write a as 1.3. So when you divide 13 by 10, so you have 1.3. So that is a. All right. So now what's the next thing to do to get the second constant, that is b? All right. So we plug in the value of a into any of the equations. So let's plug in this value into equation 1. Can we do that now? Okay. So we have 20 equals to 8 times, now a is what? A is 13 over 10. Okay, so 13 over 10, that is a plus b, plus b. All right, so what's the next thing to do? Now I can break this one down. So I'll divide this by 4, by 2, this by 2. Okay, so that makes this to be 20 equals to 4 times 13 over 5. Okay, when you divide this by 2, you have 4. Divide this by 2, you have what? 5. Okay, so you have this plus e. All right, so what is the next thing to do? Now let me multiply through by 5. So I can multiply through by 5 so that I will clear this fraction here. So now when you multiply this by 5, you have what? You have 100. Now 20 times 5, that is 100. So when you multiply this by 5, that 5 will cancel this 5. So you'll be left with 4 times 13. So 4 times 13 gives you what? 52. Okay? So plus b. So that is what we have there. Okay, and don't forget, okay, this one is going to be 5b, sorry. Okay, you know, we are multiplying each of them by 5. So this by 5, you have this by 5, you have this by 5, you have 5b. Okay, all right. So now, what is the next thing to do? Let us try and work it here. So here, you can collect the like terms. Let this one come here. So we have 100 minus 52 equals to 5b. All right, so when you subtract, you have 5b equals to 48. Okay, so b is what? 48 over 5. Okay, that is the value of b. All right, so, and don't forget, this b is also the same thing as, now 5 goes, that will be 9.6. Okay, so because 5 goes in 48, that is 9. It remains 3. So 3 over 5 is 0.6. So you can add that to 9, so you have that. Okay, so we can now get the law of variation. The law of variation. So I want us to take note of this before I claim it. So now the first variable given, x is 4, y is 2, and the p is what? P is 10. Okay. All right. So all right. So what's the next thing? We can get the connecting formula. So let's get the connecting formula, which is also the law of variation. So now from here, we are writing everything here. So we have P equals to XA. A is this, or you put this, so we can write 1.3x. Okay, so we have replaced x with this. Sorry, A with 1.3. Okay, so plus. Now what is B? B is 9.6. Okay, over y. So this is going to be the connecting formula, which is also the same thing as law of variation. So this is the first part of the question. Okay. Now let's look at the second part of the question. Now you have to find the percentage increase in P when x increases from 4 to 8 and y remains 2. Now look at it now. In the first case, the original state, we have this. X is 4, y is 2, p is 10. Now the question now is, when there is an increment such that x now move from 4 to what? To 8. That is, x is now 8. So now, so we can write that x is 8. Because x has moved from 4 to 8 now. And what is y? Y still remains to be 2. Y still remains to be 2. Okay, so we want to know the percentage increase in P. So we don't actually know P. So we want to get the value of P. All right, you know, this is the initial P that we have. So we want to know the increment in P. That is what we turn in, what we, this P being increased. Okay, so what is going to be the difference between the new P and what we have? So now let us get the new P now. Let's see what we have. Okay, so we have, from the connecting formula, we have P equals to 1.3 times x is 8, okay, plus 9.6 over 2. Okay, so that is what we have here. So what do we do next? Okay, so we have P equals to, so now let's multiply this. Now 8 times 3, that is 24. We write 4. So we have to 8 times 1, that is 8, plus 2, we have 10. So it's going to be 10.4 plus, now let's divide this. 2 goes in 9, that is 4. So 2 goes in 16, that is going to give us what? 8. All right, so that is what we have there. So and then now we need to add this and this together. So when you add together, what do you have? So when you add together, you have P to be equals to 15.2. Okay, so that's going to be the value of P, as you can see. Now you can see now that when x change from 4 to 8 and y remain to be 2, we have P to be 15.2. Now the question wants us to get the percentage increments in P. All right. So now what is the increment in P now? Can you tell me? I want you to put it in the comment section. What is going to be the increment in P with what we have on the board? What's going to be the increment in P? So drop your answer in the comment section and let me see, because that is where we are going to comment from. So what is going to be the increment in P? Can you drop your answer and let me see? Increment in P. Yes, increment in P. Anyone? What's going to be increment in P? That is change in P. Okay, I can see some of us saying you don't understand. Okay, don't worry, just listen. I will go through it again. All right, so is there anyone that can give us the change in P now? Anyone? Okay, Joseph, I've dropped an answer. That is 84.8. Okay, now. Okay, anyone? Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you now. I will show you. So I want you to be attentive and see the way the problem is being solved. There's no big deal in it. All right, so now let us see the increment, that is change in P. Change in P, the difference between this P and this P. Just subtract. So you just have change in P. Change in P will be 15.2 minus 10. And that is going to give you 5.2. That is the change in P. So this is what we have. Okay, you get that now? But the question did not just ask for change in P, it's the percentage change in P. That is what the question asks for. So that means you have to convert this one to percentage, okay, of the initial P. So, and that is going to be, so percentage change in P will now be what? Now we have this 5.2 over 100 over 10, sorry, because that is the total, that is initial P times 100%. Okay, so 0 cancels 0. So when you use 10 to multiply this, you have 52%. And this will be the answer to the problem. Okay, all right, so for those of you that did not understand, so let me go through it again. Probably maybe you were not there when I started the class. So, and I want to encourage you, just go through my explanation, you will get it, and always make sure that you come early. Okay, so, and that is the reason why I told you that you must always remember to, click on the notification button so that whenever I'm on here, you'll be notified. Okay, so now let us see the question. The question says that P is partly varies as X, and that is what we have here. P is partly vary or partially vary as X. Okay, so and that's, we have P equals to X, but you must add a constant to it. So I'm going through it again. Please, I want you to listen carefully. So, and so once you see and in that context, it means plus, and partly inversely as Y. So the word inversely means reciprocal of Y. And reciprocal of Y is 1 over Y. Okay, so we put 1 over Y here, but you need to introduce the proportionality constant, that is B. and then you have A, B. You have your constants. So I want to believe you understand this. Okay, so now what do we do now? In the question, we are given the value of P, the value of X and Y. Okay, so we plug in the values of P, X and Y. So P is given as 10, X is given as 4, Y is given as 2. Okay, so now we have this. Now, because we have a fraction here, so we just decide to multiply through by 2 so that we're able to clear this fraction. So I multiply this by 2, this by 2, this by 2. So when you multiply 10 by 2, you have 20. You multiply 4a by 2, you have 4a. And multiply b over 2 by 2. So 2 cancel 2, so you have b. So that's how we have got our equation 1. So I want to believe you got that explanation. So let me see your response because I want us to be on the same page. Do you understand it down to where I stopped, to equation 1? So I'm waiting for your response in the comment section. Is that clear? Okay, good. Okay, good. Good. All right. Okay, so now let me move on. Now, also in the question, we are given the value of P, value of X and Y. So that's the second set for you to get the second equation. So now you are given P in the question. So we plug in the value of P. P is 11. So we plug in the value of P. In the question it was given. Now X is 6 is given in the question. So we plug X into this equation. So we have this. And also Y is 3. So we have this. Okay, so these are given in the question. These values are given in the question. So we just plug them into this equation. So now after doing that, what do we do next? We can see that there's a fraction here. So we just multiply each of the terms here by the denominator that we have here so that we clear this fraction. All right, so we multiply this by 3, this by 3, and this by 3. So when you multiply 11 by 3, you have 33. You multiply 6a by 3, you have 18a. And you multiply b over 3 by 3, so we have b because this one we cancel this. Okay, so now we have this. Yes, do you get that now? All right, so we now have two equations now. So we need to eliminate b. So what do? We subtract equation 1 from equation 2. Look at equation 1 and equation 2. So we take away 20 from 33, so we have 13. We take away 8a from 18a, we have 10a. So we take away b from b, we have 0. So, and now this is what we have now. So we have this. Okay, so what is the next thing? Now we divide both sides by 10 because that is the coefficient of what we're actually looking for, which is a. So when you divide both sides by 10, so you have 13 over 10, and which is the same thing as 1.3. Okay, you get that? Now, the next thing is to get the value of P. So now we substitute the value of A into equation 1, and that's what we did. So this, look at equation 1 now. So we just replace this A with this value of A. Value of A is 13 over 10. So look at it, we have 20 here. 8 is here. So A now have been replaced with 13 over 10. So, and this is B, we have it here. All right. So now we now see that we can simplify this. So 2 goes in 8, we have 4. 2 goes in 10, we have 5. All right. So we now have 20 equals to 4 times 13 over 5. Okay. Plus B. All right. So now the next thing we did was we multiply each of these terms by 5 because we actually want to clear this fraction. So we multiply this by 5, we have 100. Multiply this by 5. You know, when you multiply this by 5, 5 we cancel 5. So be left with 4 times 13. So 4 times 13 is going to give you 52. So multiply this by 5, you have this. Okay, so what do we do next? Now we collect the like terms. Okay, so by subtracting 52 from 100, and that is what we have here. Okay, so from here you have, when you subtract this from this, you have 48. Okay, which is the same thing as 5b. So we divide both sides by 5 to have this. So this is the value of p, or in decimal you have 9.6. Okay, so the question require that we find the connecting formula, law of variation, and so we just come here, write everything here, but change a to 1.3 and b to 9.6, and that is the connecting formula or law of variation. So, and this is the first task. Okay, so I hope you understand that. Good. So now the question also asks that I need you to listen here, that if x is increased from 4 to 8, that is, x is no longer 4 again, x is now 8. That's why we have it here. Okay. Now, we are also told in the question that y did not change, y remain to be 2. Okay, so now what the question wants us to get is to get the value of p. And after getting the value of p, you have to find the percentage of the increment or the change in p. All right, and that's what we want to get. So, but the first thing to do now is to get the value of p. All right, so now we plug in this value into the connecting formula. So look at the connecting formula. We have 1.3 times 8. 8 is this. All right. So, and the 9.6 over y is 2. That has been given in the question. So when you multiply this, you have 10.5, 10.4, and when you divide this, you have 4.8. So when you add together, you have 15.2. So this is value of p when x is 8, y is 2. So the question wants us to find the change in p. So we now find the change in p. The difference between the initial p and the new p we just got now is 15.2 minus 8. So when we subtracted it, minus 10, sorry, 15.2 minus 10. So when we subtracted it, we have 5.2. Okay, that is difference between the p, that is the first p given, and the new p we just got. The difference is 5.2. The question wants us to get the percentage of this change. So how do we get the percentage of this change? So we just say this change divided by 10, okay, times 100%. Okay, so when you do that, is 0, we cancel 0, and then you have 5.2 times 10. That gives you 52%. And that is how I got that answer. All right, so yes, on this note, I want to believe you already understand that. So you need to take time. If you are not still getting it, take time and listen and watch the video over and over, so you will get that. Okay, so we are going to be moving down to something else. But before I move on, let me show you how marks will be awarded. All right, so for getting this equation, the first one we have B1, the second one we have B1. For solving, we have M1. For getting the answer, either this or this, we have A1. Okay, for substituting into any of the equation, either equation 1 or equation 2, we have M1, that's method mark. And for getting B to be 9.6 or 48 over 5, we have A1. And for getting the law of variation, we have A1. Okay. So the next thing now is for substituting into equation, the connecting formula, the equation. So we have M1. And for getting P to be 15.2, we have A1. Now for getting the difference in P, we have P1. Now writing 5.2 over 10 times 100% M1, and for getting the answer, we have A1. Okay, so that is how marks are awarded. So now let us count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so 12 marks all together. So that is it. Okay, so can we move down to something else? Let us look at this question. All right. Okay. So this is the next question. Yes. Yes. Before we solve this problem, don't forget, if you are new in the, on this platform, ensure you click on the subscription button, and don't forget to tap your like button. All right. So let's look at this problem. Now the distance d covered by a curve varies partly as the time t and partly as the square of the time. Now, if d equals to 90 kilometers when t is 2 hours and d equals to 200 kilometers when t is 4 hours, now find Roman numeral 1, the relationship between d and t. Roman numeral 2, the distance covered in 5 hours. So how do we solve this problem? Yes. Now let's interpret the question. Now the distance covered, the distance d covered by a curve varies partly as time t. So let's write that distance D covered by a car varies partly as T. So equals to T. But don't forget, we have to introduce the proportionality constant. Let's say that is small a. Okay. So, and we have plus partly as the square of T. Square of T is same thing as T square. So you introduce another constant, that is B. So we write A, B are constants. A, B are constants. Yes. Do you get that now? Okay, so you now look at the question, look at the variables given. D is 90, T is 2. So let's plug in this value into this equation. So we have 90 equals to, now T is what? T is 2. We have 2A plus, now T is 2. So we have T square B. Okay, do you get that now? So I can divide through by 2 so that I will make this thing simple here. So when you divide 90 by 2, you have 45 equals to, divide 2A by 2, you have A plus, now when you divide 2 square B by 2, you have 2B. You know, 2 square is the same thing as 2 times 2. Okay, when you divide that by 2, so 2 cancel 2, so you have 2, so 2B. All right, so now we can call this equation 1. Now let's look at the second pair given. So D is 200, T is 4. Let's plug that in into this equation. So we have 200 equals to, T is now 4, so we have 4A plus, now we have 4 square B. All right, so now what do we do next? So we divide through by 4 so that we make this simple. So let's divide this by 4. So what do we have? We have 50 equals to, so when you divide this by 4, 4A divided by 4, you have A plus, now 4 square B divided by 4, that is 4B. We call that equation 2. All right, so I want to believe you are flowing now. Okay, so what's the next thing? You have to solve these two equations simultaneously. So how do you do that? You subtract one from the other. So which one are you going to prefer? Are you going to subtract 1 from 2 or 2 from 1? Okay, so you can pick any one, you can decide, but I want to take away smaller one from bigger one. So I will say equation 2 minus equation 1. So let's do that. 50 minus 45, that is 5. Okay, so A minus A, that is 0. 2B minus 4B, sorry, minus 2B, that gives you 2B. So we have 2B here. So here you can divide both sides by 2. So we have B to be equals to 5 over 2. And that gives you the value of B. Okay, now we need to get the value of A. So you can plug in the value of A into any of the equations. So either this or this. So I want you to quickly do that for me. So I want you to tell me the value of A. So plug in A into any of the equations, either equation 1 or equation 2, and drop the value for A in the comment section. Let me see what you have. Okay, can we quickly do that now? Let's see. So what is going to be the value Okay, I can see your results. Yes. Akelabi, I can see. Okay, the football is not showing. All right, I don't think there is anything on that side. So look at it. All details have been shown there. So, okay, yes, I know I can see your answer. Yes, Yashuku. All right, Mayowa. Okay, yes. Along for me, yes, I can see your results. Miracle. David. David, what is your answer? I want you to drop your answer. Yes. Okay. All right, now let's confirm. Okay, Miracle, I've dropped an answer. Okay, I can see David's answer now. Okay, okay, okay. All right. So now let us see what is the value of A. I think you guys are doing well. So you can plug in the value of B into any of the equation. You see, I would prefer equation 1. You know why? Because I observed that equation 1 values, the values we have here, they are smaller to this one. So it's easier working with smaller number, all right, than working with big number, all right? So so let's plug in the value of B. So we have 45 equals to A plus 2 times B is 5 over 2. Okay, can you see that now? So now this we cancel this. So we have 45 equals to A plus 5. So you can subtract 5 from both sides. So you have 45 minus 5 equals to A. So A equals to what? 40. All right, so that means you guys are doing well. So that's the value of A. So what is the next thing to do? We have gotten A and B. So we can get the relation between D and T. Now let's do that. Okay, relation between D and T. Just come down here. Now this is what we are writing out. So we have D equals to T, TA. That is T times A. A is 40. So I write 40T. You get that now? So A is 40. So just replace A with 40. Okay, please don't write T40. It's not professional writing numbers like this. Okay, it's better you write it as this 40T. Okay, good. All right, so now let's move on. Plus, now what is B? B is 5 over 2. So I will have 5T squared over 2. Can you see that now? B is now 5 over 2. So you can see 5 over 2 and T squared. So this is the relation between D and T. Okay, the question now go further that you should find the distance covered in 5 hours. And this when T is 5. So what is going to be the value of D, the distance? Okay, so we have D equals to, okay, now before I do that, I want you to try that. Yes, let's engage ourselves. So what is going to be the answer? Yes, do this and drop your answer in the comment section now. So let's try this. Now what is going to be the value of D when T is 5? What is the value of D when T is 5? Okay, making use of the Okay, so what is the value of D? I'm waiting for you. All right, okay, result, I can see 225. Yes, Adekunle, what is the value of D? Yes. Okay, Olorunfunmi. Yes, we have 270. We have 100 and who is this? Divine. Yes, okay. Yes. Obasanya, what is the value of D? You are welcome to class. What is the value of D? Yes. Rashidat, what? Okay. Yes, I can see that. 225. Yes. Okay. Odesanya, I can see your answer. Yes. Aisha. David, 262.5. Oh, Miracle, 225. Divine, 162.5. 162.5. Okay, okay, yes. Now let us look at it together. So I expect every one of you to get the answer. So let's see those people that got the correct answer, because I can see different answers. All right, so now we have T is 5. So let's plug in 5 here. So we have 40 times 5 plus 5 times 5 squared over 2. So that's what we have there. Okay, so and now you have D equals to, now this is what? This 200. Okay, so this 200 plus, now this is 5 times 5 is 25. So 25 times 5, that is 125 over 2. Okay, so we have 200 plus, now 2 goes in 12, that is 6. 2 goes in 5, that is 2. It remains what? It remains 1, that is 1 over 2. Okay, so when you add together, you have D equals to 262.5 kilometers, or you have D equals to 262.5 kilometers. So this is the value of D. All right, so I want to believe you guys got that. Hope you understand how I arrived at the answer. Okay, yes, 262. So that's the correct answer. All right, so now let's move down to another question that is going to be on the logical reasoning. So, and I want every one of you to listen carefully and see how we're going to solve this problem. Okay, so yes, right. I want to ask, can you all see the board and can you hear me? Can you see the board? Can you all hear me? Can you see the board? I need you to confirm that before we solve the problem. Okay. Can we all see the board? Okay, good. Good. Okay, so now let's solve the problem now. Since we can all see the board, now let's solve the problem. Now let A be the statement 13 is a factor. 13 is a factor of 10. Okay, this is a factor of 10. Factor of 10. Okay. Yes. A is a statement 13 is a factor of 10, and B is a statement integers are whole numbers. So these are the two statements. Can you see the two statements? Now the question now says you find the truth value of A, negation of A or A and negation of B. B, negation of A or B implies A and B. And C, negation of A by conditional. Okay, I think this one should be B by conditional B, and negation of A implies B. Okay, all right. So that's the question. Now you have to write out the statement negation of B. Now obtain the truth value of converse and inverse if the main theorem is A implies B. All right. So how do we solve this problem? So before we solve, if you are just joining this platform for the first time, ensure you click on the subscription button, and if you have not tapped your like button, make sure you do that. Okay, so now the first thing we are going to do, now let us look at the validity of these two statements. So I need you to tell me the truth value of statement A and statement B. So drop it in the comment section. What is the truth value of A? And what is the truth value of B? Okay, don't forget your truth value can either be positive or negative, that is true or what, or false. So I need you to tell me if this statement is true or false, and also this B, if B is true or false. So now look at it and drop your answer in the comment section. Can you do that fast, and let's continue from there? Yes. Anyone drop in answer? Yes. Okay. All right, I can see how you know A is false, while B is true. A is false, B is true. A miracle, A is false. Yeah. Okay. Alorunfemi, I can see your result. Odesonya, I can see you. All right. Toyosi Joseph, yes. Miracle, I can see you. Bamidele Scott. Yeah. Yes. Olasheyo, I can see your result. A is false, B is true. Okay. Marinette. Okay. A is false and B is true. David. Okay, I've seen Riscott's result before. So Adekunle, yes. Adekunle, what's your result? Rashidat. Yes, you're welcome to class. Okay. Yes, Shan Official, you're welcome to class. Yes. Can you be part of the class? Let's have you. What is going to be the truth value of what we have on the board? Statement A and statement B. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. So now let's continue. Now here we have statement A is a factor of 13 is a factor of 10. Now look at that. 13 is a factor of n. That means 13 will completely go in 10. Now is that statement true? No, it's not. It's false. Okay, so now that means we have A as a truth value of false because that statement is not correct. Now let's look at this statement B. Integers are whole numbers. That is true. Integers are whole numbers. Okay, so that statement B is true. So true is represented with capital letter T. So now that's the first thing we need to get, and you have to be very careful when doing this because this will determine what you're going to have here. So once these ones are wrong, so it's likely everything will be wrong. So we have to get this one rightly because we are going to be plugging in these values into this proposition. Now let's look at the first one. We have to find the truth value of the first one we have here, A, 1A, negation of A, or A and negation of B. All you just need to do is just to substitute the truth value of A and truth value of B into this proposition. Now let's quickly do that. So we have, this is negation of A. A is false, so we have negation of false or false and negation of true. You get that? B is true. So now negation of false is true. That is opposite of false is true. So we have true or false, and now negation of true is false. Alright, now so let's settle the one in the bracket. So now what is false and false? False and false is false. Okay, don't forget your truth table for conjunction. Okay, so false and false will give you false. The only condition that will give you true is when you have true and true. So this gives us false. Now what's the next thing? True or false? What is true or false? Can you tell me what's going to be your result? True or false? Drop your answer in the comment section. What's going to be true or false? Now while you're doing that, don't forget when we talk about or, we can only have false if we have the antecedent and the consequence to be false. But if you have at least one of the statements to be true, that means your result is going to be true. Okay, so I think we did that in the last video. So if you did not watch the last video, make sure you go to the last video so you see how all of these are connected. All right, so the result, if you type the right thing, so the result is going to be true. That's going to be true. See, so this is the answer to the problem. So true or false is true. Okay, so now let's look at the second one. The second one, we have negation of A or B implies A and B. Okay, so how do we solve this? Now negation of, now let's plug in these values. A is false or true implies A is what? False and true. Now let's see negation of, now false or true is true. Okay, so we have true implies, now false and true, we give you false. Okay, so we have false here. So a negation of true is false. So we have false imply false. Now can you tell me what's going to be the answer? Yes, what is false imply false? So I want to see those people that will give me the correct answer. False imply false. False imply false. Who will be the first person to give me the correct answer? False imply false. Good. I can see I know. Yes. Miracle. Yes. That's correct. Adiomi. Yes, I can see that. Yes. Riscos. That's very good. Yes, we are all doing fine. Yes, 2 or C, I can see you. So that's going to be true. So that is the result. So we have true. So this is true. It's true. T. Okay, can we look at the third one on this? So let's look at it. The third one. Okay. Now the third one, we have negation of A by conditional B and negation of A implies B. So how do we do this now? Now let's do the one inside the bracket. A by conditional B. So let's plug in. We have false by conditional true and negation of false imply true. Okay? So now don't forget your biconditional table. So it's like this. And we, if you can see it, okay, let me make it bigger. Now when you have your A and B, so A by conditional B, we have true, true, false, false. So we have true, false, true, false. So this is going to be true, and this will be false, false, and this will be true. So once we have opposite truth value, we have false. You can see true by conditional false is false, false by conditional true is false, but false by conditional false is true. True by conditional true is true. So in this case now, what we have here now is going to be what? That is going to be false, because we have opposite value. So we have false. And negation of what is false implied true. False implied true is going to give you true. Okay, false implied true is true. So we can just write negation of true. Okay, so you can check your table. So I explained this in my last video, so you can go through it if you don't understand what we're doing. So now we have negation of false is true. Now, and negation of true is what? Is false. So true and false is false. So the result is false. Okay, you get that? Okay, so that's how to solve that problem. Now, the next one, write out the statement negation of B. Now, what is the statement? Negation of B. Negation of B. What is the statement? So I must know the statement B. What is B saying? Statement B says integers are whole numbers. Integers are whole numbers. Okay? Can you tell me what is going to be? You write out the statement of this. Now let me give you B. So you are going to tell me this. So B is integers are whole number. Integers are whole numbers. So what is going to be the one of this statement? So because the question asks you to write out the statement negation of B. So what is going to be your answer? Yes, I want you to drop that in the comment section. Let's see. Let's see. Yes. Yes. What's negation of B? Okay. I can see Shogbamu's results. Yes, you have. I know you want to write integers. Yes, integers are not whole number. Okay, integers are not whole number. Okay. Yes, I can see your Ọlọ́run fún mi. Okay. Okay, integers is not an whole number. Okay. All right. So the negation of this is just the opposite of this. So now we have integers. Integers are not whole number. They are not whole numbers. So that is going to be the negation of P. Okay. Are not whole number. Whole number. According to the question. Okay. So now let's move on. Now obtain the truth value of converse and inverse if the main theorem is A implies B. Now converse is B implies A. That is, you interchange the main theorem. So this one comes here, so A goes there. Okay, so that is converse. So we can now get the truth value of that. Can we get the truth value of converse? So that is B is what? B is true. True implies false. So the result is going to be what? False. Okay, because true implies false is false. All right. So now let us look at the next one. Inverse. Inverse. Okay. Inverse is negation of A implies negation of B. Okay, so not getting what I'm explaining here, so you can check my previous videos. I explain how to get all these values, how to know that okay, inverse is this. Okay, so now let's plug in the values. We have negation of A. What is A? A is false. Implies negation of B. B is what? True. Okay, so what is negation of false? That is true. Implies false. So what will this one give you? It's going to give you false. Still false. It's just the same thing. This. Okay, so yes, I want to believe you all get this. All right. Yeah, I'm going to be stopping here today. We have done a lot today, so I want to believe you guys have learned a lot in today's class. So just like I used to tell you, make sure you practice every day. Keep on practicing. All right, even if you don't get the answer, just keep on doing it. Okay, so one day you hit what you're actually aiming at. All right, so I want you to practice questions. You can pick questions in your textbook and try. So if there is any topic you want me to review, you want me to teach, let me know on this platform so we can always review that later. All right, so we're going to be ending the class now. So thank you very much. So I love you guys. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.